Hi, my name is Maryann Macdonald.
And I'm Karen Ruelle.
Karen and I are longtime friends. We met a dozen years ago at a Jewish children's book conference, and we're both children's writers, and we bonded immediately when we discovered that we were both Francophiles, and Karen had just written a book about a particular village in France that saved many Jewish children during World War II, and I had just been there the week before. So we just couldn't stop talking and had many mutual enthusiasms, including an interest in World War II spies. Now we have both written books about children's and hidden children in World War II.
So, Maryann, can you tell us about how you found Odette and determined to write about her?
Yeah, I was living in Paris at the time, and I had been invited to the American Library in Paris to read a Halloween book that I had written. And afterwards, I went up into the stacks and I found this beautiful biography written by Odette Myers about her childhood in France and how she hid in plain sight and managed to survive by doing that. And when I learned that 86% of French Jewish children survived in that manner, I thought this is an amazing, amazing fact and a story that I want to tell. So I visited all the places that Odette mentioned in the book and called her son, whose number was in the Parisian phone directory. He gave me permission to write Odette's story, and I visited the village where she hid during World War II, and I was off on my journey, and I just loved telling Odette's story.
Would you read us an excerpt from the book?
Sure, I'd love to. Odette was a poet. She grew up to become a poet, and she married a poet, and words were important to her, so I tried to tell the story in her voice, in her childhood voice. This chapter is called What Dangerous Looks Like. Everywhere we look now, we see soldiers in Paris. Some strut past us, some thunder along on motorcycles. Still others roar past in big cars. They all wear huge black boots and stiff uniforms belted with shiny buckles. Some have lightning bolts on their collars. Mama says they are dangerous. Most of them don't look dangerous to me. They're young blonde men. I see their blue eyes follow the pretty Parisian ladies. The soldiers put up new street signs in German. They take the nicest homes for themselves. But they don't destroy Paris. No, they stroll along boulevards. They eat juicy beefsteak in sidewalk cafes and drink red wine. They buy fine French perfume and pretty clothes to send home to Germany. Some of the soldiers speak French. They try to make friends with children. They offer us candy. Don't take it, Mama warns me. Don't take anything from them, ever.
Wow.
So that's a bit of Odette's story. Now, Karen, can you tell us how you came to write about Peter?
Sure. When my co-author, Deborah Durland DeSaix, and I decided to write about the hidden children in France, we tried to find people who had been hidden children and interviewed them. And one of the people we found was Peter. And he had such an amazing story. He was separated from his family in France, and he was very feisty and mischievous and courageous, and he helped the resistance, and he did a lot of very brave and probably dangerous things. But he had an amazing story, and his personality is so appealing. So we decided that we wanted to do a book just about him, and that's what Peter's War is.
I'd love to hear a little bit of Peter's War.
Sure. So Peter kept a diary during this time, and I'm going to read you some excerpts from his actual diary. He took a notebook and tore the pages out, the used pages, and then he started his diary in the notebook. He wrote, This diary is dedicated to my parents in the hope that it will find them both alive and well. Their son, Pierre Feigl, Condom, August 27th, 1942. August 29th. The postman came. I ran to ask whether there was anything for me. Thank God, a postcard from you. You're in the Vernet internment camp. I'm pleased and hope they'll let you go because of Papa's poor health. September 3rd. I'm anxious. The camp director got a letter with my baptismal certificate and 3 ration cards for shoes and nothing else. I'm worried. I'm afraid that you're gone. I'm still sick in bed. I'm afraid for you, my good parents. September 12th. I cried tonight. Who knows where they're taking you? His last entry was made on January 31st, 1943. Another month has gone by, and I still haven't heard from you. On February 1st, when Peter looked for his diary, it was gone.
It's very touching. I'm wondering what happened to Peter after the war.
Well, Peter actually managed to escape from France into Switzerland, which was quite an adventure in itself and very dangerous. And he eventually ended up in the United States. He got married, had kids, had a great job with the Defense Department, and spent a lot of time speaking with school children and with groups to tell them about his experiences during the war, so that people would never forget what happened during the war. He's now in his 90s, and he's still giving talks to children. And his diary ended up in the U.S. Holocaust Memorial Museum. So if you go there, you can see it. So if you would like to learn more about Odette and about Peter, you can find information on our websites. Maryann and I both have websites. Here they are. You can also find us on social media. There's an Odette's Secrets Facebook page. We both have Facebook pages, Maryann and I, and we're on Instagram and Twitter. You can find the books at the library, or you can get your own copies. And I hope you will. And you can also contact us through our websites if you would like to ask us questions or find out more. Thank you for listening.
Thanks for listening. Bye now.
Bye-bye.